Hello, hi Francisca. How are you
Hi,
doing? Can
Monica.
you It's so good to see
Yes,
you.
yes, likewise. It always gives
Oh,
me goosebumps when we get together, Monica. It's just lovely to be with you as a
oh, I love it.
sister in life and sister in crime, I want to say, but
Yeah, it's true.
what's a crime? We don't know. Our crime is that we want to change the world for it to be a better place, isn't it?
It is, it is. Well, it's a good crime, so it's worth it.
Good crime. Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah,
is true. So
yeah.
welcome. I'm so happy to have you here in this event and in this space, now sharing your story. You've been always being part of this in so many ways. And now you're here as a grandmother, so I love that. I love that. Like, oh yeah, to bring that
Yeah.
experience, and how is that being? And yeah, welcome everybody. This is one more session of Grandma's March 2024. And the idea of this year, we have a theme that is called "It is time to revive our roots and ask ourselves, what did we do once we knew?" And this last question is inspired in a poem by Drew Dellinger, which basically he wakes up at 3:20, I think it's 3:24 in the morning, and he's having a dream with his great grandchildren, asking him, what did you do once you knew? And once you knew about everything that is going around in the world, all the chaos, all the things that are happening with climate change and political and things like that. So the idea is to just go today, start from your roots, any connection that you had to your roots, your grandmothers or grandparents as a whole, or any stories that you have from your ancestors, and then we move on. On the work that you're doing today, and how is that impacting, and what's the impact that you're having through that, and now also the experience as a grandma, which is like so amazing, and makes a lot of sense to bring you into that space, because yeah, this is inspired again in my grandmothers and in grandmothers. So that is beautiful to have you here as a grandma representing the grandmothers. I love it.
Yeah, thank you, Monica. I had no idea when you came with the vision. I was there when you came with the vision for the Grandma's March a couple of years ago. I had
Yeah.
no idea that I would become a grandmother and I would be on your show. So I'm also absolutely thrilled to be here with you. Yes, yeah. And
Oh,
well, to dive right in about my ancestors and my grandmothers, I knew both of my grandmothers from father's and mother's side. I don't really know my grandfathers. It's feels like it's a very feminine dominated line. Maybe
hmm,
it's my perception being a woman as well. I did know my granddad from my mother's side, but he was very absent. It feels like the men in my family line, in at least through the stories and through my experience, they were there, but they were also very absent. And yeah, so that's their feeling I have with them. My two grandmothers were very different. I had one who was more distant and formal, and I had one who was more close and more warm and easier to connect with. And both of them had a history in Indonesia. Especially my mother's line goes
wow.
back to the very early times of colonization, even when the missionaries were traveling to the Minahasa by boat for during several years to in order to get there, and then marrying local women. And yeah, so somewhere a couple of hundred years ago, I
Yeah.
must also have Indonesian blood. I, I don't know exactly.
Sure, yeah, who
Yeah,
knows?
yeah, yeah. But the history of Indonesia is definitely intertwined in my family. My father's line, I know very little about, but also So they were invested and had a clear connection with Indonesia. And I've been thinking about this also, like, okay, with your family and family line, what's coming along are both traumas and gifts. And I feel that the traumas that have come along have to do a lot with power issues, with overpowering. There is this part of religion and sort of invading from the west to the east and just imposing and invite. The intention was good, of course, but it's a kind of overpowering than the local religions in an attempt to say bring good. There was also this power thing with governance, with the colonization by the Dutch of the Indonesian. There is also a thing about men and women, so the overpowering of women. There's some abuse also within the family. So all that has been happening, and I bring it all under the, how do you say, under the noemer of power issues. And I've obviously also thought about then what are the gifts that I get from my family. I feel that I think it's about taking charge and taking leadership over their lives. In very different circumstances. It's been about survival also with the wars and how to survive in that, by blending in, by connecting, by taking care, taking charge. And I feel that's a great attribute to be able to do that. And I feel what has also come within my family is the family values. It's important to be connected, to understand the value of family. I mean, if you're in big trouble, then at least you have family, and as family, you take care of each other. So that's a thing. And one more thing that I have inherited is there has been a large emphasis on intellectual mind, knowledge, reasoning, all of that. And I found that back, especially my own upbringing, where the emphasis was on the intellect, and the rest was sort of, it was all part. It played a very different role. And so growing up, I've tried to develop intellectually and do the smart things and figure out what needs to be done, who do I need to be, and then figured out how I could do that best I can. And so that was part of my journey. And then over time, I had to learn how this is only one thing to fly with, and understanding by falling down, getting up, and falling down, getting up again, like, hey, there's this other wing, which is the emotional, the spiritual, the creative, that didn't seem to have a place, but I found over time is essential. And I have invested also by just doing and going, what it is, how it works, and I am now figuring out how to integrate the two, and how to lead life from these different dimensions the best I can, and then taking us along with me. That's a lot of words, Monica. Does it make sense?
Yeah, it does. Of course, it does make sense. Yeah. Yeah, I love it. Like the way you are bringing it, because it's like that. And most of the people I interview, and myself too, but we all see like those two, like opposite things that we always receive, and there ends up being a balance. There is gifts and there is traumas and there is good things, and then you end up, when you grow up, you end up realizing, okay, I have too much of this, or I understand where this comes from. So that definitely. Yeah, that makes a lot
Yeah,
of sense. Yeah.
yeah. And also, when I think of it, I talked about the power theme. Huh? I think what I'm understanding, even only at this time, um, what true power means and how it
Mm-hmm.
feels and how I can experience it, and how there is a true power source, an untapped resource actually that we all have, but
Yeah.
have forgotten or unlearned how to tap into that. So I'm really learning at the moment at a deeper level what is this power that I have access to, often not use it, but also finding the true power also involves like experiencing total lack of power. And I quickly shared about with you about the drama I'm into in my house at the moment, um, and feeling completely powerless with all the things that are going on that I cannot control, but it is really heavily affecting my life, not only today, but also well, in the years to come, because my pension has been eaten up. So how will I live? How will I survive? And then
I
comes
know.
my family team back in, like rebuilding your life, be thrown off and out, and what then? Okay, you start again, but from where? From your power source. Where's my power source? That's short also the essence of my work, and the essence of what I want to leave as a legacy
Hmm.
to my son, and to all people as many people I encounter with. I want to share that with them.
Yeah. So talking about that is like, okay, you're talking about your work. Tell us a little bit of, yeah, you started with your roots, that connection to your grandmas and what you got from your ancestors back then. Um, what leads you into the work that you do today as a coach and consultant,
Yeah,
and yeah, working and helping people, organizations, and all this. So yeah, and
yeah,
and especially
yeah.
it started very focused on women as well, right? Yeah.
Yes, yeah, and all the steps are phases over time, and there's all
Mm-hmm.
next part of growth. And after my graduation from high school, it was just more than logical that I would go to university. Intellect, learn, important. That. So
Right.
I went to university. The question was, what am I going to do in university? So, and I ended up, long story short, I ended up to become an agricultural engineer. Not
Oh
that
wow.
that
Okay.
was the vision that I had at the beginning, but this is how going with the flow of life and making choices over time within the circumstances that then present themselves over time, having a bit of having this feeling from within, like yeah, navigating from there. So I turned out to be an agricultural engineer, which was great. And I still love that connectedness
I
to
love it.
nature and to
Yeah, to
life.
nature. So
Yes,
why
yes,
agricultural
yeah,
engineer? I'm just curious. Yeah, why did you choose that back
yeah.
then?
Well, I wanted to become a doctor, and that time I couldn't enter into that studies because there was a just a certain number of students that would allow. I was just not so lucky, or maybe I was so lucky to not get into that that direction. And then it was okay, what? And I wanted to do something with health and with well-being and with nature and growth and biology, and all those were ingredients. And then it was like, okay, then I go to Wageningen. Wageningen is in the Netherlands. There's an agricultural university, which is world famous, by the way. And I just ended up there. But at that time, I had to look up where's Wageningen in the Netherlands. I didn't know it, so I found it, and I started my studies there. And at the time, I was able to choose year by year, what am I going to do? So the first year was very broad. The second year was it, you want to work with plants, with animals, with society, what do you want to do? So it was like a funnel. and I ended up to be a specialist in tropical grasslands,
Wow.
physical production, ecology, and economy. Those were my three major subjects. So yeah, that was it. And that took me abroad and work for the FAO, the Food and Agriculture Organization, for a couple of years. Then come back, work with the university in Wageningen. But there was still something, this life calling, something like, I don't know, I'm not fulfilling on my purpose. What my purpose? What is it that I need to do? And I changed from, okay, you have a life, you set your goals, you go after and achieve them, to my life has a purpose with me. What's life's goal with me? So I started to turn it around and look more inside and follow that guidance from within, understanding the guidance. How do you get guidance? Where do you get guidance? Emotions play a big role in finding guidance, but then what? Because feeling good or feeling bad about something is true guidance. You feel feelings because you think a certain way. So then what? So it was a whole uncovery of what is life about? What does it want from me? Where do I need to go? And how do I get there? And this is actually what I'm going to skip a couple of steps, found within the organization of TR International. And
Uh-huh.
that is where I now am partner in TR International. We have recently renamed our company as Lead True.
Yeah.
And not that we have changed anything in the DNA and how we operate, but it explains more and more broadly and more inclusively of what we do. In the beginning, we started to work especially women. We wanted for
Mm-hmm.
all women to choose from their own natural power source to lead their lives from their own inspiration, from the inside out. But it turns out that at this moment we work with all genders, and we work not only with individuals, we also work with groups, we work with teams, with organizations. So the Lead True name comes more explains more clearly, more precisely what we like to offer. Yeah. So yeah, so that's where I am, and of course I have some favorite roles inside of that, and my favorite roles are to work with individuals on their leadership journeys, and also work with groups of women, but yeah, who choose also to support each other on their leadership journey. So
That's interesting.
yeah, so that's where
I'm
I am.
showing here the website so people can reach out to you or to
Oh, thank you.
anybody, right? In the lead through organization, because yeah, it's definitely for me also it's been an inspiration since Shakti Leadership or Fellowship Program. Yeah, when it called
Yes.
Tiara International and now as Lead Through was a lot of the leadership methodology comes from there, and then I got into the coaching program, which I still trying and working it out to finish it, but it's been amazing. It's been really amazing, and bring so much. It has brought me so much tools, not only for me but to support others in organizations or outside. So definitely,
Yeah.
it is an amazing organization, which I recommend everybody. And just reach
Yeah.
out, reach out to Francisca, reach out to Andrea, reach out to everybody that
Yeah.
is there, right?
Yeah. Wonderful. Thank you, Monica. Yes, and we really make it a thing to be able. It's about everyday leadership, very practical,
Yes.
but with both your feet on the ground in the mud wherever you are, but also with your vision high and far and big as it is, and then how to navigate, very practical on a day to day from the inside out. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
never stops, does it, Monica? It never
No, it
stops.
never stops. So yeah, tell us a little bit more about like now lead through it also it is not only in Europe but it's also like in the US or anywhere, right? That you have people working and
Yeah,
how people can reach out and how
yeah.
it work. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. We have a global reach indeed, with a focus point in the US and a focus in the Netherlands,
Mm-hmm.
but with a group and circles of coaches who are all over the world, actually. Yeah, and in different languages. So we have
Yeah, it's true.
German speaking, and we have in Israel we have Irish, we have Portuguese, we have French speaking, Dutch, of course, English. So and all that to help us fulfill on this mission to have actually as many people as possible, everyone, um, have the tools to lead their lives from inspiration, from their inside out. Yeah, and together we can build a better. It's my really profound wish that we all may lead from the inside out. And the inside, this that is often this very quiet but very incredibly strong force also, that is in our blind spot, but in our day to day it makes a difference between being effective or not effective, between getting the results that we want or not getting the results, between being influential or not influential. So yeah, um, that helps turn the Titanic of the world
Yeah.
that we are in at. I believe. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. So
Yeah.
yeah, so it's
Yeah.
quite a journey. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're feeling
Yeah.
the story of where you come and your ancestors and all the story from back then, Indonesia, and the intellect, and of course it comes the power in there. But you go and find this agricultural engineer career, which yeah, it helps you as a base to understand more the planet
Yeah.
and connect the human side. And now you're working as a coach and consultant for
Yeah.
organizations. But I love that.
Yeah.
What about Indonesia? It's just I was curious. Have you been there? Have you
No,
connected to that?
I haven't been there personally, but
Mm,
and that is still on my list. I
uh-huh.
would love that. And I am not so sure if I would love that, because I know the stories,
Uh-huh.
and I know my parents, they have gone back to visit places where they used to live, or where their ancestors or my ancestors also used to live and be.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot has changed also, of course. The places that they searched for were no longer there. The houses were gone. Uh, there were a couple of important things that they were also still able to retrieve, or still see, or still connect, also with people who knew people who knew. Well, there were
Mm-hmm.
connections, old connections, still there. But I also remember that my parents came back with kind of empty feeling too, because there is connecting to the memories, and the memories do not connect to the reality of the situation now.
Mm, yeah.
Um, so in that sense, I am not sure if I really should go there, and how long, yeah, how really strong it is um, on my bucket list of
Right.
destinations.
That makes
But
sense.
I'm very I continue to be very intrigued. I have an aunt. She's 90 years old. She's writing a book about her life experience, which is largely determined by,
Wow.
also, she was born and raised in Indonesia. She was there during the war as well. So she has a very rich story to share,
I
and I'm
can
totally
imagine.
involved with her in that book, wanting to help her complete, which I'm not sure is going well. Okay, that's a different story. But so I am living the experience through her and with her,
Mm-hmm.
and understanding from her stories how it was to be there. Yeah.
Wow. So she lives in
Yeah.
Indonesia right now, or she's from there?
No, she lives in the Netherlands right now.
Ah, okay.
She's Dutch,
Got got
but she has lived. She was born and raised and lived until she was 20 years old, and then
got it.
came back
Yeah. Came back.
after the war. She came back after the war. And
Wow.
my dad, he was in a camp during the war, and so he also came back after the war. My mom came back before the war, so the war is a thing also
Of course.
in the family.
Yeah.
And yeah, so what I love about the roots in Indonesia is also the mystical component that we in the
Yeah.
West completely lack. And
Yeah.
part of my journey has been to explore and integrate those elements. I am on a partly shamanistic shaman tour as well,
Mm-hmm.
to and enrich part of my being, which has been totally not nourished or taken care of or grown up. And I feel that I can more and more connect to many more dimensions than just the three dimensionality that we live here. And I also feel like the calling to share about that with many people, um, leading to my desire to be part of the grandmotherhood, because that's what I attribute to the grandmotherhood. I've had this wish, like, oh, I would really like to be in that area, because I feel that I have access to a lot of wisdom now too, that I feel people need to know. Even the TR model for leadership, I mean, it is really rooted in a deep,
Yes.
deep wisdom,
It
and I
is.
want people to know. It's not airy fairy. It's very practical also, and it's just helpful to know. So I am now. I wanted metaphorically to be in the grandmother's arena, and the more happy I am that I am actually now physically in this life also a grandmother.
Wait.
I didn't think that was going to
Oh.
happen, and neither did my daughter and my son, but it happens. So that's been
Yay.
um, a wonderful surprise and a wonderful gift, and
Oh my
yeah,
God.
just delighted.
Yes.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah,
talking about grandmothers, I wanted
yeah.
to share something into this space. I don't know if you're seeing it. Let
I
me see. Can you see it? No,
know,
right?
and I can see that I'm in the dark right now. I don't know how to change
Yeah,
that. Or
no.
maybe it
Who's to be sharing here? Let me see if I can try again. So I wanted to share the no, it's not working. Well, let me see if I can try to do it in another way. But yeah, I wanted to bring a picture that you sent me today, but for some reason it's
oh
now. Yeah.
yes.
Yes, I will make it happen. So yeah. So tell us about that while I try here. Tell us a little bit of that
Yes, yeah,
amazing,
yeah,
amazing
yeah,
experience that it's been,
yeah.
because I know it's just like wow. Yeah.
The
So
picture that I sent you today, indeed, it tells everything.
yes.
It's me
Yeah, I
giving a big
know.
kiss, a big hug
Yes.
to little one. He is a bit more than 9 weeks old only today, so
Oh,
it's very small baby. And his name is Riv, R-I-V, which is from river. And
okay.
that I had no influence, but was very happy about the name, because for me it refers to the stream of life energy from spirit to the very material world.
Yeah.
And I think life is all about that. Life is streaming because it's energy. Its energy cannot stand still. It is it is moving. It can transform. It can change shapes and so forth. But it needs to move, it needs to flow. So that is just lovely. And yeah, as I said briefly, he wasn't supposed to be conceived, but his soul or his spirit or his something must have made up its mind and be determined to come here now via this route via my daughter, me. And so here he is. So my first reaction when he was born was, well, when I heard he was making, was, wow, you need to have a lot of guts these days and courage to be born into this
I
world at these
know.
times, huh?
Yes.
And
I
he really had this guts. He arrived against all odds, and then I say, wow, I'm just so delighted and so honored to meet you. And who are you? And how can I help? I want to be
oh
around him and my daughter as much as possible, because from my experience about um, well, it's one thing to be up there in oneness and decide to come to earth and then to fall into this whole world and then think, what the heck is going on here? And then how how are things working or not working, and how do I live? So and yeah, in oh, there it is. Yeah,
oh
yeah,
there
yeah,
you
yeah.
go.
So this is there we go, my little Riv and me. Yeah.
Oh, that is
Yeah,
so cute. I know.
it
Finally, I
is
was
it
able
is
to
very
share.
cute. Yeah. And it
Yes.
looks amazing and wonderful, but mind you, it's not angels and roses, a small baby, nor to be a young mom. It takes a lot of work and a lot of worries, a lot of responsibility, uncertainty, scary moments, guilt, all of that, in addition to all the love, the bliss that's also there.
Yeah.
And it really is. It's a 24-hour job for and I'm starting to wonder, like, how come that women are still continue to be ready and prepared to birth to babies, raise them, and this is a 24-hour job, and it's not paid, and it requires so much effort
I
and
know. It's
energy.
unbelievable. Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Yeah.
It is
So
true. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So
wow.
I want to mention that too. That my relationship with my daughter Celine has also is flowering at the moment, and I'm completely in awe of about her wisdom and how that impacts her voice and her behavior. It's just amazing. It's things that I dreamt of and hoped for, but now, huh? Is it really happening? That is just wonderful.
Wow.
Great gift.
Wow. Oh
Yeah,
my God. Oh, it's
yeah,
been so amazing. And now being able to share and complete like the circle, it's like, yeah, with the
yeah,
baby, with your grandson, with the whole experience of how seeing a daughter like going through grandmotherhood and
yeah,
yeah, how you are in awe, like seeing her and how much wisdom and is coming from there.
yeah,
That is just
yeah,
so special. And at the end, that was the idea today. It's like, okay, start with your roots and start with you go through your journey. What has been your work? What is all the impact that you're doing in the world? But now, as a grandmother, what is that you want to
yeah,
leave to the future
yeah,
generations for your grandson. So yeah,
yeah,
just like maybe
yeah.
we can do a little closing from in there. Yeah.
Yes, yes, sure, yes, yeah, yeah. So I want for my grandson Riff to know that he is an energetic and creative powerhouse by nature. There's nothing for him to do for it, but connect, find and connect. And I want for him to know that he is on a personal journey, like all of us. He's on a personal journey. It's a mission of discovery to grow and learn and expand, and by doing all of that, contribute to a better world.
Mm.
So I want him to have this sense of adventure and exploration. And yes, there will be hardship. And yes, there is trauma involved. And trauma is trauma. And that may or not be his own trauma, or generational trauma or other kinds of trauma that he has picked up. And trauma can be healed and it can be stopped before it goes on to further generations. So I want him to know all of that, and that would be my legacy to him, and also to future generations. And I want him to know that I'm here to help him and to help my daughter, and not that I can solve problems for him, but I can um, journey with him. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. That sounds so perfect. I love it. I love
yeah,
it. He's gonna love you forever. Like I love my grandmas, and like all these is because of them. You know, so sometimes every year I just say, my God, am I crazy or what? I have so much to do, and I keep doing this. You know, this is not my job. Nobody's paying me anything,
yeah,
but it's just like it's just my
yeah,
love, and it became my mission. And I know how important grandmothers are and the role that they have and how much they can influence in somebody's life in that journey. So I love it.
yeah,
I love it.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, one more little detail. But you said
Yeah.
he's going to love you forever, and then part of my mind says, yeah, who knows? He's making up his own mind. We don't know, we don't know where he's coming from and going to. But you know, so he is now weeks at he's starting to smile, but
Oh.
he's starting to smile to me more often than to Celine. Sorry, Celine, just in case you will probably listen to this recording as well. But I continue to tell Riv that he needs to really, really smile a lot more very soon to you as well.
Oh, oh, I know. That's so amazing. Well, he will keep smiling for sure. And thank you
Yeah,
so much. I want to thank you for being here with me today, Francisca, in this space, sharing your story, opening your heart, and that love with your grandson. That's been very, very special. And
yeah,
well, thank you everybody for watching us, for joining Grandma's March, and keep connected to Francisca through the website that I share. There it is again, leadthrough.com. So yeah, she's an amazing coach,
yeah.
amazing consultant, amazing sister friend, and I love you. I love you, and seeing you now as a grandma is just like such an inspiration. So thank you for being here with me today.
Oh, thank you, Monica. Thank you for your vision of creating all of this, and for your invite, and for you just being there. And I'm sorry to be so much in the dark, but you know, maybe that's metaphorically for where I
Maybe,
am in my life at
maybe.
the moment. But I'm also getting out. I'm also getting out. I'm not going to stay here.
That sounds
So thanks
good.
a lot,
Thank
and
you.
till soon.
Yes, till soon. Thanks, everybody.
Okay.
Have a great
Bye.
bye.
Bye.